So in the last video I was talking about how I think that VMO is just a bunch of nonsense, how I'm a VMO atheist personally. But I want to get into some of the exercises that people propose to actually help strengthen the VMO. And I'm going to explain to you that these are actually really useful exercises and I think they're worth trying in anyone's case. So stay tuned, I'm going to explain why in a sec. So these are the main three exercises that I see people doing for VMO. The first one is the idea that if you pinch your legs together and then straighten your knee, I'm actually going to lower the camera a bit. If you pinch your legs together and straighten your knee, that will cause your inner thighs and your quads to go off at the same time. So basically that focuses everything in on these muscles here. And what you do with this is you could grab a ball, you could grab a foam roller, really anything that has thickness and a bit, something you can push into, and you want to just pinch it together with your legs while you raise your leg up like this. I'm actually going to back up just so you guys can see. So I'm pinching this together and I'm straightening my leg and then lowering it down. You go up and down like this and you really want to focus on getting that part in there. Working on that muscle in there. Focus as if you're trying to get the VMO, because it actually is a good thing to remind people to focus in that area. So you want to straighten the knee like that, bring it down. You can always make this harder by either using a leg extension machine, getting an ankle weight, or tying a TheraBand to something. But the big thing is you're trying to focus on working on that inner thigh while you straighten the knee. Now, one other reason this exercise is really good is because you are building your inner thighs in this process. And in a lot of ways, the more your inner thighs are strong, the more stable your knee will be when you're doing activities. So you don't want this wonky knee. If you're playing basketball, if you're snowboarding, doing anything with your knee, you want to have some stability there. So by doing an exercise like this, it actually helps you build up those inner thigh muscles, which in many cases can be weak, and it just protects your knee more. Whether or not it's actually working out this guy, who the hell knows. But that's the first exercise. And the second exercise is, this one is a little bit different. This is where the idea is you would turn your foot outwards and then you would straighten your knee and then you lower yourself back down. And bring it outwards like that and bring it down. So you're basically doing the same thing as before, only you take your foot and then you turn the foot outwards. The big idea with this one is that you'd be stretching out the inside of basically the inside of your leg muscle there, and then this one would be working a little harder to just get your leg up. And this one, I see no harm in this, because in a lot of ways it's getting yourself strong in an awkward position. It may be working a little more in that area. I'm not 100% sure, but I still see this as something useful because it is kind of training your knee to work in a position that it's not used to. So I would say give this a try. I personally don't prefer this one as much as that first one with the ball, but still a very useful exercise nonetheless, especially if you're coming out of a knee injury, because anything where you're straightening your knee like this is going to help you out. The third exercise, and this is one that I actually do see some potential in, is you want to basically do a lunge, and I'm going to actually pull back a little bit. To do a lunge, you're just going to bend this back knee down, bring your front knee down, keep your front heel planted on the ground there, and then go down like that. However, with this special lunge, you're actually going to put one hand on that VMO where the area is. So my kneecap's here, right above and to the inside is the VMO. I put one hand here and one hand here on the outer thigh. And what I'm going to do, if you can see right here, is I'm going to do a lunge motion basically by bringing that knee forward, and then I'm going to bring my leg back and bring it forward. And when I do that, I'm going to try to make the muscle kick. If you can, you can feel when a muscle kind of tenses up. I want to make this inner one kick more. So this one does take a bit of mind tricks on yourself to make it work, if it does indeed work. But I've heard some people say that you can kind of make your body focus on one area if you're touching it a little more. So I see some, maybe if there's anything that could perhaps target this one muscle, it would be this exercise. I don't do this with a lot of confidence, but I still really like the idea of just bringing more body awareness to those muscles really close to the knee. So I would recommend this, especially as an early on exercise to do, because not only are you you're doing lunges anyway, so you're going to build the knee from that, but also by having your hands there, you are just going to develop a lot of awareness of the muscles in that area. And by keeping your hands here, lastly, you're going to focus on keeping that knee stable, which is a big problem often if you just had a knee injury because the thing is really wonky. Holding your hands here will actually make it more stable and a little better for you to recover. So one other thing I'm going to mention as well is all of these exercises, if you really do want to get the VMO firing, if you are a believer in it, I personally would tape that area and have constant touch on it all day. Because you want to be thinking about this thing as much as possible throughout the day in the hopes that there's a chance that your body will your mind and body will connect and you'll make this thing activate more. Like I said before, if you touch an area enough, sometimes you can make that area actually fire more. So I really am a big fan of just taping the area. It doesn't have to be a big piece of tape. It could actually be something like this thing that I got here, which I actually labeled VMO, upside down unfortunately, but right here. And it just kind of serves as a reminder, especially when you're bending your knee, that touch can kind of make it fire a little bit more. So that's my opinion on VMO, the exercise you can do. I still think there's some value in these and I highly recommend you try it. I don't want you to take my opinion too much into consideration because perhaps this is something that can be targeted. Either way, the exercises are going to help you. Hey, so I know you liked this video if you watched it to the end. So you know what you have to do right now? You have to click on that subscribe button right on the bottom right corner of the screen and subscribe, because I'm going to be making videos every single day for you just on how to reduce your injuries, how to get yourself in shape, and just get yourself stronger and smarter so you can survive in the world out there.